Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Grace and I'm going to be answering a few questions about myself. I did actually put this out there on my Instagram, asking a good few people that do follow me on there, like, what do you want to know? Like, if there's any questions you want me to answer, like, give it to me. And I was kind of overwhelmed with the response, if I'm honest. I know that I've put out a few weekly vlogs and I've had the odd question of people saying, oh, you should do a get ready with me, you should do a get to know me type video so that we can get to know you obviously a little bit better, because I do understand that in the whole like weekly vlogs you can kind of like see my characteristics and how I am as a person, the things that I moan about, the things that I'm happy about. You can kind of like, I don't know, kind of put me together as a person in your opinion. So I obviously did think it was a good idea to answer your questions and ask you for questions so that I can kind of give you a better representation of myself and my life, because I'm putting it out there. So thank you very much to the people that have asked me questions, and to the people that are watching. I hope this helps, or I hope this gives you more information about me, what I struggle with. Yeah, I guess what I struggle with, a lot of them is to do with anxiety, my stomach condition, how Andrew and I met, and just other odd little questions that I wouldn't have thought of. So thank you, and I suppose we should just get into it. Actually, happy Easter, because this is going up Easter Sunday. I'm filming it on Easter Sunday. I'm filming it now. It's going to get edited and then I'm going to upload it. So it is a bit slapdish dash. I don't know, is that a thing? It's now a thing. Yeah, this is going to go up tonight, and I hope you'll give it a watch and I hope it's helpful. So let's start with Georgie M. Haynes. Thank you for your question. You asked me, how did you come up with your pups' names? So I have Luna. She is we have Luna. She is. Luna is a miniature dachshund. She's Casey registered and she is a chocolate dapple. I got her, she's going to be 8 this year in August. And yeah, she's called Luna, and she's called Luna after Luna Lovegood because I freaking love Harry Potter. I got Luna a year before I met Andrew, so she is my baby girl, but she loves Andrew more. Kiki, my mum actually came up with the name Kiki, and every time that people hear that she's called Kiki, they sing the Drake song, which is quite annoying. But also, Kiki is also the little bit on a orchid plant. Fun fact, I don't think it's spelt the same way, but you can have Kikis on orchids. So yeah, my mum named her. I was going to call her Dory because she was just a little bit odd, and I just thought Dory was quite cute. But then Andrew knew someone's dog that was called Dora and he wasn't feeling that. And what other names was she's going to be called? Just some probably old granny names, but we ultimately came to the choice of Kiki. That's just her name. How do you cope with, so Morgster has asked me, how do you cope with your mental health problems? It's up and down really, and I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people. For me, I am on medication. I'm on escitalopram. I take 15 milligrams, which isn't that much, I don't think, but it's worked for me. I'm very funny with medication. I don't know whether it's the same for a lot of people, but I seem to get a lot of the side effects. It doesn't really like my system. I seem to always have problems, but escitalopram is the one that I'm on, and I'm doing quite well on it. I don't feel numb. I don't feel as if it's taking over my life and I've lost my personality or anything like that. I feel like it's the right amount for now. I would ultimately like to come off it and do a more holistic approach, but for right now, losing my dad 2 years ago, being on some like hardcore other antidepressants, I just came off of those, and then I really struggled, and I kind of had to come to the realization that I needed to be on something. I needed that help, and I'm okay to admit that I needed that help. I know there are a few people that don't really agree with that, and that's fine, but for me, I do need that help. I don't have my dad anymore. My mum lives quite far away. I wouldn't say that we're the tightest knit family, so the main support that I do have is Andrew. So for me, I do feel like I needed that medication to support me as an individual. I do, as I say, have friends and family. Andrew's mum and dad, they help me. I do get it from, you know, a lot of different angles, but for me as an individual, I did need that extra help. So yes, that's what I'm on. How do I cope? As I said, yeah, medication. But another big form of help is exercise. And I used to be one of those people, like my sister runs marathons and was obsessed with the gym, has got a PT qualification, and you know, I'd call her a freak and be like, oh, gross, you're exercising. Like, there's me just eating cake and stuff. But as cliche as it does sound, like, your body is a temple. It's the only one that you're going to have. Look after it. And not just physically, but mentally. So, I did PT after I got diagnosed with my stomach condition. I was on medication and could move around a little bit more. I invested in a personal trainer, which was Lois, when I was in Hertfordshire, and she was lovely, really lovely. I do miss her. She's got a baby that's not really a baby anymore. She is a toddler, which I just find nuts. And she started my journey on getting active, moving my body and feeling strong. And then I moved to Tunbridge Wells and I started training, well, I moved to Tunbridge in Kent, and I started training with Millie, and I absolutely love her to pieces. She got me out of that fear of being in the gym and working out. It was just like, you're in there for you, focus on you, and we can do this. She built up my confidence again, from Lois and not having Lois for a period of time because I moved, and with everything with my dad as well, just Millie, she was an angel. And now I've moved up to Norwich and I'm now training with Kat and doing boot camp at the Norwich Fitness Academy, and I'm struggling without her big time but I'm following the boot camps online that herself and James are doing, and I'm doing as much of them as I can. But we're dealing with being in isolation and getting my head around it all. Exercise wasn't on the forefront of that. It was kind of like settling into, okay, right, this is serious now. Being at home, trying to find a routine, but also it's okay to not have a routine, doing what I wanted to do. And one of the things I didn't want to do was exercise. I didn't want to do it. But I have noticed like a decline in like my mental state. Even my intelligence is going downhill. I feel numb in the sense of I can't seem to like function as a human. So I am bringing those bits back into my life again. Of routine is so incredibly important for mental health, but exercise, like, for me was just smack bang at the front. So kind of putting the boot camps and exercising into the category that, as I said, like, that is my form of exercise, like following the boot camps. So I try and do that every other day. I was supposed to do one yesterday, haven't done it. Thinking of maybe doing one today, but it's okay if I don't. Tomorrow is a new week and then I'll start it off. I'm just trying to take the pressure off as much as possible, but also understanding what is good for me, and that is routine, and I'm very much struggling trying to get into that routine. So If there's people out there that are also struggling, can we have a little chat in the comments below when this goes up, because that might make me feel a little bit better that I'm not the only one struggling, because everyone just seems like they've got their shit together online and I haven't. So sorry that was long-winded. Second question, and we're probably already 10 minutes in. So Megan has asked, how to stop feeling shit about the way I look. It ruins my whole summer mood. I am 100% with you on that, and I have started to just try and accept, I say this and then I'm a hypocrite, but accepting, like, this is my body, this is who I am right now, and if I choose to change how it looks or how strong I feel, that will happen in time, and when I'm ready to do that. Norwich Fitness Academy boot camps and doing that, I feel like that's changed my life. I've never done a class in my life, so walking into a boot camp and then being surrounded by like 12 other people or 6 other people, they're different turnouts whenever you go. I tended to go in the mornings at 6:30, but then they have ones at 6 o'clock in the evening. If I didn't manage either of those, they sometimes have the lunchtime ones too. So it was just getting back into that. I heavily got into that this January after eating my whole weight in chocolate and food over the Christmas period. It hit January and I felt heavy, I felt gross, I felt sluggish, and I just made the decision to start with exercise and the diet will follow. Some people are, I'm going to start with the diet first and then exercise, but I feel like to feel good about yourself, you need to come to that realization first. That might not be diet, that might not be exercise. It may be indulging yourself in a hobby. And like when I was working a admin job 9 to 5, that would consume my life. I'd be so tired from it, but I felt like when I came home and I had like a project to do or something to focus on, that kind of like made me happy, and it opened other avenues to explore. So that then made me want to exercise and look after myself and do stuff at the weekends, because my whole week was consumed by work. I actually wanted to do stuff at the weekends, and sometimes that was stuff that was good for my mental health, good for my body, like walks, like taking the girls out to like coastal walks, forest walks, which just ended up working the whole system, I suppose. Mental, physical, and confidence came with that as well. And don't get me wrong, I've come off the bandwagon a gazillion times. Even when you get it, it doesn't mean it sticks. It's important to try and help it stick if that's something that's making you happy and ultimately looking after yourself. Why wouldn't you do that? But hiccups come in life, you know. Like when my rabbit passed away last year, as soon as we moved up to Norwich, I lost all motivation. I didn't want to do anything. And you know, my dad passing away, I stopped eating. I didn't want to socialise. I hated Andrew for a long period. Like, hiccups happen and you just got to roll with it. So don't expect to be perfect the whole time. I think taking the pressure off is the best way forward, and finding a rhythm. That's what I would say. And just try not to make yourself, I know we all have it inside where we've got this person in our brain that's like, you're stupid, you're pathetic, you're fat, you're gross, and it's kind of sticking the finger up to that person and just going, piss off, my body gets me from A to B. Do I like how it looks? No, but I'm lucky to have all 4 limbs, be able to hear, speak, however you see fit of what you have, and some things you don't have. Who bloody cares? Just appreciate what you have and do what you can when you can. So I'm going to stop there because I could go on. How did you and Andrew meet? Loving the vlogs. Thank you, Saffron. I'm glad that you're watching them. Me and Andrew met, this is a couple of people have asked this question. Andrew and I met in Tunbridge Wells on the Pantiles. Well, he saw me on the Pantiles, but we officially met outside the Tunbridge Wells Forum. I was actually walking up to go in the forum to ask about how I could play. and be part of the gigs, and he ended up taking me out for a drink. I told him that night, I was like, look, just to let you know, I'm not looking for anything. I don't know why I felt the need to say that. That sounds really big-headed, but I think because he was so nice, I found that bizarre. And I just was like, look, I'm not looking for anything, but like, I'm always looking for friends, like, let's just keep it like that. And I think he was a bit like, okay, like, that's fine. But I was in a very bad place then at the time, you know, done over by a particular boy, should I say, and he was the love of my life at that point in time, and I swore off boys. And then Andrew came along, and I was like, look mate, I'm not looking for anything, back off. And then I met him the next day, and we carried on chatting, and then I texted him that night just going, oh my god, you're amazing, like, I want to marry you. I'm sorry if this is coming all a bit too strong, but I've never met anyone like you, you're just so wonderful. And then here we are today. We have had our hiccups, bloody hell we have. But we're trying to soldier on in this particular situation at the moment. And I think that just comes with teamwork. Have the best teamwork you possibly can in a crisis. But we haven't killed each other yet, and I think that's the most important thing that we should be taking from this whole video. But that is how Andrew and I met. What is the stomach condition you talk about? Okay, this will probably be a video in itself, because it's really crazy to know how many people out there have stomach conditions. I thought I was the only one. I had my stomach condition, I started finding a diagnosis when I was 22, and I had my stomach condition for 15 years. That's how I worked it out, very young. And I was always labelled with, by the way, this is Essie J. Louise, thank you for this question. Yeah, I had my condition for ages. I was going back and forth from doctors. I had been on medication as long as my arm, a list as long as my arm. You could tell me you're on something, I'd be like, yeah, I've been on that. I even was on 40 milligrams of citalopram, because there was a study that shown that it had somehow managed to connect the brain and the stomach together, because a link was missing, and being on 40 milligrams or something connected them. I don't know, I'm probably not explaining it very well, but I don't obtain information very well because I overthink things. But anyway, after being labelled with IBS for so many years, and I'm sorry, IBS is manageable. If you're being told that you've got IBS and it's not manageable, it's probably something else, a mixture of that and something else. So I managed to save up a little bit of money, and with help from Andrew, I ended up going private in the end. I was back and forth with the NHS. I was having problems, not slagging off the NHS or anything, especially now, but with how the NHS gets abused, I'm sure that I was just one of those people that got caught in the crossfire where it didn't work for me at that particular time. But I had an appointment with the NHS to see a gastroenterologist, and I had the letter through giving me like a reminder, and it was a reminder for my appointment 2 weeks after the appointment had happened. And I was just, at that point I was like, I'm so sick and tired, I can't function as a normal human being, like I'm just gonna have to go private. And I did go private, and I found out that I've got slow transit constipation. So in layman's terms, I've got a lazy gut. So when I eat food and digest it, when my body's trying to digest it, it just does it really lazily. So it doesn't move stuff around as quick and as efficient as possible. And that's where I would get my griping pains. You'd see my stomach go inwards, and like it was just horrifying. The amount of times, like, my mum's taken me to A&E, Andrew's taken me to A&E. When Andrew was working one night and he was in the middle of doing sound for a band, I had to get Andrew's mum to take me to A&E because I refused to get an ambulance, because that gave me anxiety, and if there was someone that could take me to hospital, I'd rather them do that. So oh my god, I was on like morphine, and I I had morphine and Movicol. So the morphine would get rid of the pain but also constipate me even more, and the Movicol would try and move stuff. So yeah, before that, that's what my life was. I was on like morphine, and then I had anti-sickness going to me. I've been poked and prodded. I've had people just like fisting my vagina and trying to like see whether it's something wrong with there, like yeah, I never had a colonoscopy though. They were very against doing that, which kind of irritated me, but I understand that if they didn't feel the need to do that, because there's risks with it, they're not going to do it, especially at my age at the time. So that's what I went through with the NHS, and then I just went private and then found out that that is what I had. I had various tests done, and it came out that I had like a mixture of IBS-C and slow transit constipation, and I'm on medication for pretty much the rest of my life. So I'm sure with maybe a particular diet or a special probiotic, my gastroenterologist said that I could come off the medication, but it's not something that I want to test right now with where I am with my state of mind. So I'm on medication for now, and maybe when I'm older, have children or something like that, I may want to just come off medication. But that's what it is, and I might do a video in itself of that. But for right now, I'm just gonna keep it as that. And if you want to go and look up the condition, you can. You might have it too. I don't know. So Wiggles pics. How are you coping with your anxiety whilst in lockdown? I felt like I kind of talked about that earlier, but I'm coping as best as I can. I do like the fact that I've got my cousin and her girlfriend here for a bit of change up in the dynamic, so I'm not constantly talking to Andrew or constantly surrounded by him, so that we're like not nitpicking at each other. So me and Elsh, we did meditating in my last daily vlog. We did some baking together, which was really nice. And then it's just nice getting to know Becky even more, because she's on my dad's side of the family and lived in Northampton, so I didn't really get to see her as much as I would have liked growing up. And I guess now we're in isolation, it's been nice being around her, talking to her, and it's just been nice. She's very good at cooking as well. I need to share that a lot more. She's very good at cooking. Meditating, although I've only done it once, really did help me. And again, it's not something I've slagged off, but I've kind of again, not turned my nose up to it, but the idea of meditating and sitting for 15 minutes with headphones on, just trying to be zen, I was like, I'm not going to be able to do that. I swear I have a form of ADHD where again, like I'll talk about something and then move on to something else, and I need to be distracted all the time. But I feel like that's just this age and life that we live these days. We've got phones, we've got laptops, we've got TVs, you know, all these things that can keep you preoccupied but also distracted. That's probably what my problem is. But I'm really gonna try and get on the whole meditating front, because I feel like it takes all of that away from you and you kind of zone out. I need to make sure that maybe the girls are locked away for that 15 minutes, because I'll just have a ball wanting to be thrown the whole time. But that and dog walking is what's helping me so far, and I'm trying to get into a routine. She also said, PS, I think we should be Insta friends or something, as we have lots in common, lol. I'm up for more friends. We can be friends. Just send the good vibes out there and message me. We'll chat away. Emily Jane asked me, what made you choose / decide to move to Norwich? So Andrew and I had been visiting Helen all of last year a good couple of times, coming and staying up with her, spending time with her. We met her when Andrew put her on at the Forum in Tunbridge Wells, her band Box of Light. I told him he should put her on because her music was very good. The band's music was very good. And I met her, Andrew and I both met her, and we got chatting, and I told her I've always wanted to come to Norwich and explore the place. My dad used to take me, my brother and my sister to Cambridge which is not too far away, but I never went as far as Norwich. It was always like exploring Cambridge, having lunch or having dinner, and then would go back to Hertfordshire. So I've always been fascinated with Norwich, and a couple of years passed and Helen was like, so guys, when are you going to come up? Like, you know, you can come and stay with me. And we took her up on the offer and was like, fine, okay then, we'll come see you. And we did. Brought the girls. They got on with Lola, and then Diane eventually came into the equation. But yeah, from visiting Norwich all of last year a good couple of times, it hit the September, and I was self-employed. I had a few clients that were kind of like teetering off, and Helen was like, I really want extra help. I want to kind of up my content, do stuff a little bit more higher production. She just wanted help, not just with filming but with other little bits, getting organised, and offered me like a part-time job in that sense. And I just said to Andrew, like, please, can we let's just go do it. I'm not happy down south. I feel like I need a change. I've absolutely fell in love with Norwich. Let's do it. He felt exactly the same, and we just made the move. It wasn't smooth in the slightest, but we had help, especially from Andrew's mum and dad. I couldn't thank them enough for getting us up here, and we've settled in, we've found our feet, and I don't want to move. I just absolutely love Norwich. Yes, I haven't seen the whole entire country, but I absolutely love Norwich. You've got the city centre, you've got like the outskirts, which is forest and countryside kind of stuff, and then you've got the Norfolk coastline, which is gorgeous. I feel like you just get the best of both worlds. So I consider Norwich home now, and Helen has introduced me to her friends, which are now my friends, and it's just so nice, really, really nice. I've also met a few other people through networking, and it's just been great. I'm really, really happy I'm here. I couldn't think of being anywhere else, to be honest. Fools for You asked, are sausage dogs hard to parent? I've heard they have many health issues. So earlier on, when I said Luna is Casey registered, that means that I know her bloodline, you know, her parents, her grandparents. I've got like all the information. I know that she's cleared of a lot of things. Obviously stuff can happen. We try and not get her to run up the stairs, jump up on the bed, jump off the bed, jump up on the couch, but ultimately she's a dog. She's going to do what she's going to do. Myself and Andrew and whoever else is in the household obviously know that about our dogs, and you know, we pick them up rather than letting them jump off and up and things. But as I said, dogs are going to do what they're going to do, and you just got to be sensible. We've got insurance, but yeah, they are prone to having joint problems, spinal problems, but do just go to your vets if you do have a dog that isn't KC registered, or even if they are KC registered, just going to the vets and getting a once over, making sure that they're clear of a few things. I think it's PRA clear, and there's something else to be clear of. With Kiki, she's not a pedigree, she was a rescue, and I met her mum. She was a proper sausage, miniature sausage, but we didn't meet the dad. But as she's grown, I have noticed that she definitely isn't a pedigree. Obviously she's not KC registered, but looks like she's got a bit of pincer in her. So her limbs are like a little bit longer. She's very lean, she's very prominent on her chest, but I think that is a Dachshund characteristic. But all I can say is they've both got pet insurance. They regularly get checked over by the vets every 6 months, if not every 3 months, to get their nails checked, their anal glands checked, and just like a once over. But 6 months is more than enough to get checked over. But just breeding, make sure that you do see the mum if you're gonna get a sausage dog, and very good pet insurance, and making sure you have a good vet as well. That's what I'd say. How do you decide, this is from Nat Mac, how do you decide what to share online and what to keep to yourself? Love your videos. Thank you very much. I tend to share pretty much everything online. I mean, in my last video, I think I was talking about fanny hairs, so I'm pretty open as it goes. But there are times where, like, I'm not sure whether it's going to go in the daily vlog tomorrow, but yesterday morning we had leftover pizza and the girls in bed, and I was like, how about for brunch I'll go get my pizza, Andrew, and we'll just eat the rest of the pizza and chill with the dogs. And I got my vlogging camera and I put it up and I did like a little time lapse of us kind of like chilling out in bed. But if that's not making him feel comfortable, then I'm not going to put it in there. But I am trying to be as much of an open book as possible. I'm very much like this. I like sitting down, I like chatting, I like venting, and that's how I get my personality and who I am across, I suppose. But that's just how I am. I don't know what I'd keep to myself. I suppose I'm not going to show you me showering. Although I did chat in the bath a couple of times to you, but I'm not showing anything. Okay, was there a bit of a under boobage in the last daily vlog? Yes, there was, but I forgot and I didn't really see it. Not that I forgot, but I think I skimmed past it. It wasn't a big thing, but no, I'm pretty much an open book so far. I'm not sure whether things will come up and I might think about not showing them. I guess when I was working with Helen, when I started the weekly vlogs, I suppose where she is on YouTube and how big she is and what she does, I felt embarrassed to get my vlogging camera out and film her and us working. For me, it's right, Helen and I are working, so I'm not going to vlog. I'm here to work for her, like we're doing bits. So I don't tend not to show that, I suppose, but I wouldn't say that that's a secret. It's just something I just choose not to do. That might change though. The Great Red Dragon has asked, what is your self-tanning method? I can't seem to get the hang of doing mine well. I use a makeup brush on my face. I buff my tan into my face. I use Scent Maritz in medium because it's got more of a warm undertone rather than the dark, although I'd want a dark tan. The dark one seems to have like a green hue tint in it, and it's just, that's not my skin type. I'm Scottish through and through, pale as they get, and so I think medium's probably best for me. So that's what I use, and I use a mitt. I make sure I moisturise my hands, my knees, my elbows. I even do my underarms as well, because I shave my armpits, that if I put tan on it, it just clings, so I put a barrier there. I moisturise my feet, and that's about it. And then I just use a cheap buffing brush for my face, and I just buff it into my face so it's not streaky. Stacey Nagy has asked, how did you and Helen meet? So I kind of already said that. We met at the Tunbridge Wells Forum because I asked Andrew to put her band Box of Light on because I thought they were good, and he found a spot for them which worked out, and that's how I met her. Yeah, there was someone nasty that was an old friend of mine that sent her a message just going, Grace has tried to be your friend for years. She's been plotting this. I'm sorry, but I think everyone has their own mind. Helen didn't have to like me. She didn't have to invite me and Andrew up to Norwich. We just got on really well, and I'm sorry if that offends you, ex-best friend from years ago, but shut up, you know? Don't like people when they're like that. Stacey also asked, how did you get into filming? I've always been into photography. That was something me and my dad had in common, and we've geeked out on that over the years. Canon was the way forward for us, and ever since meeting Andrew, it just kind of like developed. He had been into the more film videography side of it, and I was teaching him more the photography side of it, so it kind of merged into itself, I suppose. And that's where we are. today. So every holiday that we've went on, whether we've had a GoPro or like a little camera or something, we've always filmed that, and then it just developed. And from meeting Helen and seeing like the behind the scenes of how she does things, just inspired me to not stop my blogging, but I guess I have stopped my blogging, but kind of venture out from blogging and kind of commit to the whole YouTube side of things. I've always been into the idea of weekly vlogging, but didn't really feel like I had a purpose for doing that. But ever since moving up to Norwich, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna weekly vlog so that my family can see what I'm up to up here. I don't get to see them as much anymore, and it just became into its own thing. So each kind of little process I've had, you know, we got a drone as well, and we flew that in Fuerteventura. We've flown that over farms at Andrew's parents' house, and created little videos. Just always been interested in it, and I think learning from people like Peter McKinnon on YouTube and gaining skills, you can always get better at your craft. And I don't think I'm great at what I do now, but I'm so much better than what I used to be. Andrew's learnt so much. I'm currently like getting filmed on a rig. Like, I have a mic. I've never had a mic before. That's quite cool. So yeah, you've got to start somewhere and have the passion for it. So yeah, as I said, it's just developed into its own thing. Katie or Catty Kill has asked favourite lockdown bevy of choice. So passion fruit cider has been up there, and a gin and tonic with fruit in it. That has been a lovely kind of like, you know, after a long hard day, sitting down and watching The Tiger King whilst having a gin and tonic. That's been sorting me right out. Claire Marie Olding has asked, what is your job? That is such a good question. So I do a little bit of everything. I work with Helen part-time, assisting her, like creative assistant, I guess you could call it. And I also have a few clients that I work with. So a girl that I've met in Norwich, I've been helping her with aesthetic videos, so lip fillers is one that we've done. Been helping her with her Instagram and her Facebook, but we're gonna have more videos to be filmed in the pipeline after all of this is done. Nick 198, I really wanted that to be like off the cusp there. What's your favourite thing to do when playing The Sims? Well, I was joking about making Andrew and then killing him several ways, but I think that's maybe a bit psychotic, so that went out the window. But I just love the decor. I love making a house or an apartment, because I've got the apartment Sims, really nice. And I love making lots of children. I love them succeeding in their careers. I think just Sims doing very well in life is something I enjoy on The Sims, because that's currently not what I can do now. So I probably see Sims as my second life. I did buy, what did I buy? I did buy The Sims, an extra one, which was, they had it on offer. I'm not sure whether anyone else has seen it, but it was The Sims Job, the Get to Work one, and it came in a bundle with the Magic one. So yeah, I've got some witches and wizards that I play with in The Sims, but I'm having a bloody good time. Rach LB88 has asked favourite crisps. Mine have to be cheesy Doritos or pickled onion Monster Munch. Me and heaven. Helen is heaven, I suppose, but me and Helen absolutely love a Monster Munch. Whenever I get them, we always share them. But it's between Monster Munch, the onion flavour, very much up there, or hula hoops. I absolutely love the grab bags of hula hoops, the £1 ones, and they're filled to the brim. Love a hula hoop. Right, Tanya LA has asked, love the vlogs. How come you moved to Norwich? Sorry to be nosy. I've already answered that question. Helen's pretty much brought me to Norwich. She showed me all the best places. We've fallen in love and now we live in Norwich and I'm bloody happy about it. Can I come round for a cider? A girl called Kelly. Kelly, come round when isolation is over. I've got some furniture arriving soon, which was on pre-order. Not sure I'm going to get it in the 6 weeks that I was promised, but come on over, we'll have a bevy and have a jolly good time. Right, new life in Norfolk, which is Kat Bradshaw. Have you ever had dark hair? Oh, Kat, yes I have. I've had dark purple hair, I've had dark hair, but I've mainly had blonde hair. But yes, I have had dark hair, and if I do this, like this, here is a picture of me with dark hair. What do you think of the difference? Gross, right? Lol. Okay, slowly, we're getting there on the questions. Chili Pepper 78, your eyelashes seem to be lasting forever. What's going on, gorgeous girl? They're not great at the moment. Also, I have no nails anymore. I am back to my baby hands. Thank you, Lauren, for allowing them to last as long as they did. But this is my life now. And my eyelashes will soon be coming off as well. They are very much irritating me. They're very gappy. I would do this and put a picture of them, but I'm too embarrassed. Maybe I'll put one on my Instagram in my stories, so watch out for that one. But yeah, they will be coming off soon with some warmed up coconut oil. Get those bad boys off and I will look like a little boy. But that's content, right? So another question of what made you move from Kent to Norwich? And you're in control, as I said, of your own happiness. Oh, actually I haven't said that, but you are in control of your own happiness, and as I said, I do love Norwich, and we decided to make the leap, so we did. Just Pandora, you watch a lot of my videos and I'm very thankful. I always see your comments and I always message back. So your question is, most happy, memorable moment in your life today? It's probably going to be one with my dad. We spent one Christmas once due to something bad that happened. My dad didn't want to spend Christmas in this country. So he was like, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? And I just went somewhere where they have tigers. I really want to play with some tigers. I should have gone to, what's it called? GW Zoo. I should have met the Tiger King. Although I really shouldn't have. We ended up going to Thailand actually. My dad has already been there before, and we had a marvellous 2.5 weeks there. And we went to Tiger Temple, which at the time was not bad. It's been shut down now, but it was run by a load of monks and they were all being looked after very well, it appeared. And yeah, I got to play with some tigers in the water. I got to play with some baby tigers. There's a moment where me and my dad played with some baby tigers, and it was just really lovely. They were just like playing with my dad and like biting his nose to the point where he bled, but it was only a tiny little bit, but they were just all playing and rubbing their bellies. And I'm sure that that's probably not the best ethical memory to remember, but it was one with my dad and it just made me really happy. I probably should say the one where Andrew proposed, which was also very wonderful, but for me right now, not right now, but that is a very fond memory that I have with my dad, and that does stick with me a lot when I'm very sad, which I have been sad the past couple of days. Yeah, that memory with my dad is nice. It was a long day that we spent in the Tiger Temple, but it was like, again, we do. I'm not, just because my dad isn't here anymore, I'm not going to say that he's not here. We have a fond fondness for animals, so it was a nice bonding session that my dad and I both had, and yeah, it's a good memory, good memory. Izzy Wells Art. Now, she has asked, what fake tan do you use and what is your taking off tan routine? So I've already said what tan I use and how I apply it. But my taking off routine is just moisturise as much as possible, because that's how it's going to come off naturally. But because I exercise, a lot of it goes in the elbow, in the elbow arm crease a lot. As you can probably see in my vlogs, my face is white and my neck is brown. That's because I clean my face far more than I clean my body, which sounds really, really gross, but I promise it's not. But just, yeah, whenever you have a shower, just moisturise afterwards and it'll come off as naturally as possible. But I have found that Bondi Sands Tan Eraser is very good too, and exfoliating gloves in a warm bath and chilling out. It'll come off, just be gentle with your skin. Also, Izzy Wells Art, please go follow her. Not like please go follow her, but I think she's from Brighton. She's a student and she makes wicked art. Like, I'm going to ask whether she can do some illustrations of myself, as vain as that sounds, because I love her technique. I think she's very, very good. Harper Claire, what, best comment ever. How the heck do you plant seeds on The Sims 4? When I put up a story the other day of like replying to all the comments on my YouTube videos, one of them, you could see the tab up for me asking like, how the heck do you plant seeds on The Sims 4? It is very difficult, but I am going to answer this question because I know what the answer is now. So basically what you have to do is you go to the computer, or I think you can, if you have like a plant pot, not a plant pot, but like a planter, and click on it and order seeds. It goes to your inventory, and then you put it into place in world, and then you open the seeds, and then you drag what's been opened onto the plant pots, the planters, and then that's how you can plant them. I wouldn't have been able to work that one out if I did not Google search it. So there you go, Harper Claire. That is how you plant seeds on The Sims. And this is a very nice question to end with. It's my last question, and it's by, I think that means Susie, SZY Monrush Hairdressing. So Susie Monrush Hairdressing has asked, how are you? I'm going to be honest, I'm not great. I am very sad at the moment. I woke up very sad today. I had very bad dreams last night, and I just feel very, very low, very monotonal. I feel flat. I feel very flat today. I don't know whether it's because it's Easter Sunday and you should be, you know, having friends and family around. I've got obviously family here, but I think it's that having that free will of, or just that opportunity of just inviting people around. I can't do that, so I don't know, I find Easter very, very family orientated, I suppose, and just not spending it how I would normally spend it. I'm not saying that it's bad the way we're spending it, because we're having a barbecue in a minute or later or whenever that's happening. We've got alcohol, which is always great, I suppose. You know, just so it's going to be very nice, very social, a lovely household Easter Sunday, and that is making me happy. But at the same time, I'm not spending it like I miss Helen. I haven't seen her in ages, and you know, when there are things like this, she's pretty much family. She should be here, we should be with her, spending a time like this together. Would like to be with my mum and my brother. My sister's in Bali, so she's going to be doing her Bali thing, but Andrew's mum and dad as well. You know, it's just different this year, and I've accepted that, but I'm also a little bit sad. But I suppose on the whole I am okay. I'm trying to plod on with the daily vlogs as much as possible. Expect the next one tomorrow. I will try and make myself a lot more chipper, because I don't want to be like this. This isn't me. I will probably go out for a walk and sort my head out a little bit, walk the girls, and I'll feel probably a lot better for doing that. But that was the last question. I'm really sorry that this is a long video, but I'm just giving you what you want, and I've quite enjoyed answering your questions, to be honest. It's nice to know what you want to know about me and what you may not know already that you now know, and if there's anything else that you want to see from me or want to know, we can do this again sometime. But thank you very much for coming onto my channel if you haven't before. Welcome. And to the people that have been consistently watching, thank you very, very much. I wouldn't be doing this without you, because I wouldn't feel like there's a purpose, I suppose. I might have done it down the line anyway, but thank you very much for subscribing and always messaging each video that goes up for me to get to this point to, I don't know. I've always wanted to do stuff like this, but I didn't think I was exciting enough. So to have people ask me questions is a privilege, I think, and I'm very thankful that I'm in the position to answer the questions. I hope you know a little bit more about me if you didn't, but sending you lots of love. Please like, subscribe and comment, and I will look forward to seeing you lovely bunch tomorrow, and I hope you have a wonderful, or have had a wonderful Easter Sunday. Sending you lots of happy Jesus egg vibes, because that's important too. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling now because it's getting awkward.